Welcome back to the Fake Heel YouTube channel, and today we have our weekly wrestling figure news and reveals video. And trust me when I say we have a lot of stuff to uncover, and we are going to get right into it, man. And we are going to start off by not even talking about the wrestling figure encyclopedia that's available at heelbooks.com. We are going to start off by talking about the talk of the town right now, Powertown. Listen, I try to avoid talking about this brand just because I have no idea what is going on with this, but I will give you guys a little bit of background. Powertown produces a couple figures, right? They have their Ultras that only released one series. They released a 2-pack of Myers and Cardona. They released a special diamond edition of Mr. Kerry Von Erich, and they have a bunch of outstanding pre-orders. And now this last night, or I should say 2 days ago, sorry, PowertownWrestling.com, their Shopify account was unavailable. Now, this could mean a lot of things. It eventually went back up, so it's not a big deal. But things like this worry the consumer. So a lot of people have been asking me to speak on Powertown. I'm going to speak on it. So I don't know what's going on with this. Full disclosure, at one point, I was working with Powertown for Ultra Series 1, Ultra Series 2, TNA, the Remcos, the Myers and Cardona, the Kerry Von Erich. I had a contract with them to do promotional materials for them, which I delivered, and they have yet to deliver quite a few things back to me. And I've had quite a few meetings with Magnum TA and Steve Rosenthal, and every time that we would come to an agreement on a date to have a meeting, they would cancel, and it was always last minute. It was always like 20 minutes before, hour before the meeting, they would cancel with some kind of excuse. And this went on for months and months and months and months and months. And that to me was like kind of like a little bit of a red flag. Now stuff like this, and there's podcasts where they're saying that, they can't get the product over here because they're not able to get it. That's not what it comes down to. It comes down to you got to pay the tax, but you got to pay the tariffs, right? And they don't want to pay it. I don't know when these are coming. I do not think that this is an indicator that the figures are not going to be delivered to customers. I don't think that this is an indicator that they are closing up shop. I also can't say confidently that it's not those things. I truly don't believe that. Just from knowing Steve as a businessman, I don't think that's something he would do. I don't see him closing up shop. If anything, I see him kind of pivoting. This, however, could have been something as simple as maintenance, but we shall see what happens with Powertown Wrestling. I'm a little bit, I got to be honest, I'm not sure that the consumer is going to have any trust in this company anymore, unfortunately. As a partner with them, or a previous partner with them, I've kind of lost trust in them. I've been told a lot of things, and like I said, there's a lot of deliverables that I did not receive. Payments and things like actual pieces and items because I was putting work in for them. And the last time that I didn't receive items from Powertown, I was told that they didn't have any more left. And instead of taking accountability, they blamed it on the talent and said the talent took too much of our stock. First of all, the talent wasn't going into your warehouse and taking the stock. Okay. You sent it to them. Simple as that. So a lot of accountability issues here. I am concerned about people receiving their items in a timely fashion because it's already past that. So if you pre-ordered from Powertown Wrestling, I do wish you the best. I do hope that you get your money back. I do know that people have gotten their money back, and I do hope you get your products if you don't attempt to get your money back. Good luck to you all, but I don't think PowertownWrestling.com being down, their Shopify, means that they're out of business. So if it happens again, I wouldn't panic. They could just completely be maintaining it or revitalizing it. Who knows? But I do wish that they would make a public statement and address all of everybody's questions instead of kind of dancing around everything. But that's enough of Powertown. We're going to move on to some real reveals and news, and that is right here from Latuni. He showed off the upcoming Wrestling Everest series of Road Warrior Animals packaging, and I got to be honest, man, not the best packaging in the game, Latuni, but a lot of these things I think people are going to be opening anyway, so it doesn't really matter. paying homage to those talking Hasbros with the diagonal Everest logo going across, but it does have some images of the Road Warriors that have me questioning, are those licensed images? So we shall see. But I do think that this figure is pretty cool. It's like a massive 12-inch Hasbro. Very cool. Not for me, especially for the price, but I could see why people would want these. They are pretty cool. So last week we talked about My Fandom Indie Stars. This is Josh Chernoff's company, and they showed off their crowbar figure, which at first, I got to be honest, I was like, I don't know, something seems off. And then after inspecting the image after last week, I looked at it and I was like, I know what's off on this crowbar figure. It is so detailed in the face, like almost too detailed. So, like, every wrinkle in his face, his eyes, his forehead, his mouth, it's all there. And we're just not used to that in a Hasbro. So I don't want to say like I take back my statement because I didn't really say anything bad. I was viewing it from the perspective of retro and Hasbro figures, and it's a little bit different than what we're used to. It's a little bit more detailed in the portrait of the professional wrestler. So I do think it's very good. And again, it was a hand painted sample, so it was good. And honestly, I do think a WCW era crowbar would definitely appeal to more people. But hey, there's a lot of reasons that they pick these things, right? He is a current indie star. Maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe that's what they wanted. So I'm here for it. But they recently announced also in Series 1 is going to be Danny Maff. This is his first ever figure. And I will be honest with you, I am not familiar with Danny Maff. And after this announcement, I'm going to make myself familiar and see, because I feel like a company like this where Josh Chernoff really focuses on indie talent and, does a lot of work for My Fandom and everything like that. I got to imagine that there's a reason this guy is being announced for Series 1, right? Just because I'm not familiar with him doesn't mean that I won't be familiar with him, right? This could be the next big thing. Who knows, right? So I'm going to definitely be looking up some Danny Maff matches and stuff like that. Also, Title Run Toys showed off carded mock-ups. These are not actual samples. These are mock-ups of the prototype on a card showing what it would look like. Of the 1 of 500 Mike McGurk, this is that bluish, purplish hued jacket right here. Gold microphone head. Looks good. They nailed that unique smile of hers with her eyes and her brows up. I mean, I love this figure. I'm definitely picking it up. Each one is going to be limited to 500. Here's the red coat, which is arguably, as I've said before, the better looking of the figures. And there is the back of the carding. As you can see, we have the Jumpin' Bomb Angels on there, but then there are two figures that are gray-scaled out, silhouetted out right there, as you can see, black. And I'm curious who they are going to be. So comment below who you think those two silhouettes are underneath the Jumpin' Bomb Angels. Either way, pretty cool for Mike McGurk. I think I'm actually going to be getting both of them. So now, KWK, Kayfabe Heroes, showed off samples of their upcoming Berserker. We actually broke the news on this one back in February, March, and had the Berserker on to announce it, which was pretty cool. I will link that video. Man, these are gorgeous. Look at this. If you love the original Berserker, which, I mean, I don't know how you could. It was very, very lazy. It was a Jim Duggan figure with a Berserker head and then a random piece of felt on it. It wasn't the best. It was not the best figure. This, huge details. First off, the likeness in the head is amazing. I love the multicolored beard. He has a removable Viking helmet. He's got a removable shield, a removable sword, and they nailed the actual gear that he would wear. Very, very cool. That double clothesline action and the boots with the fur wrapped around. I mean, it's all there. They nailed this one, and it comes in 3 different variants. We have this blue one. We have the dark blue one, which is pretty cool, and the brown. I got to be honest, I think my favorite is right here. I don't know why, but I just think this shade of blue just really pops on this figure. All are accurate, though. We can't deny that all are accurate. And I am so excited for this figure. We also saw a side-by-side of the original prototype of Well Done next to the newly tooled head. And I think last week I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Seeing it side-by-side like this, though, I do think the new head is an improvement. I think that these guys are pretty tough to capture the likeness because there's not many defining factors of their actual faces. You know what I mean? To make a good figure. It's kind of similar. Honestly, I will compare it to me. Like, I don't think that there's enough definitive, unique markings on my face to make sculpting my face easy, if that makes sense. And that said, I think they did a pretty good job. Seeing it side by side, man, it's night and day. It really is. And there's the other. I got to be honest with you guys. I forget their names. I just remember them as Well Done. I forget their first names, but Timothy Well, I think. Anyways, Kayfabe Heroes also talked about their Club Kayfabe exclusive Ox Baker test shots. Now, these are available only to Club Kayfabe members. So if you're not Club Kayfabe members, you could reach out and try to get in. If you are a Kayfabe member, these are up right now for purchase. They have the orange test shot that you see in the front on the right that is limited to only 3 figures produced ever. Then you have the skin color test shot on the left, and that is limited to 5. Then there's the silver all the way on the right, which is the limited to 5. And then the black, which is to the far left, also limited, but that is limited to 10. So very cool if you're into test shots, prototypes, pre-production items. These are legitimate test shots. So if you're interested in that, you could spend a little bit of money and add something cool to your collection. For things like this, personally, I think I'm usually good on that. Like, I like the final product, and I think this final Ox Baker is going to look awesome. Then 16D, they have a new Antonio Inoki, which is pretty cool. He's got the black boots. He's got his arms up, and he's in that blue and red robe. My favorite part, though, is the back. The sun on the back. You got the clouds. You've got the Japanese symbols. Very, very cool and unique. I've never owned one of these 16D figures, but man, the heads are so well sculpted. The paint applications are so clean and crisp. Look at those fine lines of like the hairs right around where the hair meets the skin. It's very, very good. Then Danhausen right now on his whatnot, you can purchase Galactishausen. And if you can't tell, this thing is a mega 2-up. It is, look at his hand. It's literally bigger than his hand. It's larger than a regular micro brawler. So it's kind of expensive. As you can see, it says 2-up house. And I think these are like 60 or 70 bucks if I remember correctly. And there it is side by side with a regular micro brawler. So it's literally twice the size. Very cool, very unique, very evil. And as you can see, it has his tattoo kind of emblazoned on the chest plate of the Galactus, as well as the teeth around the belt. Very cool, man. I think this is a very creative way to work in another Danhausen, and I got to imagine he is the professional wrestler with the most micro brawlers in history. Now, this is one of my favorite things that we have seen all week as far as wrestling figure news and reveals goes, and it is the Zombie Sailor Toys Pinnacle Collection Series 2 New Jack. This is the first figure announced for Series 2 confirmed, and that is New Jack. And man, I don't know how he's going to top this one for this series. This is going to be a must-have for so many people, especially with New Jack being mentioned on WWE television, New Jack being in the video games, New Jack getting things like trading cards and such like that. This is huge, man. And I cannot wait to see what the cloth goods looks like, because I got to imagine he's going the cloth goods route with Mr. New Jack. But let's look at this portrait right here. First off, if I didn't have the neck down in this visual with the arms and all of the, the holes for the arms to move and everything like that, I would have thought that this was literally just a mugshot of New Jack. This looks like the man himself. Look at all the subtly painted, but deeply, deeply sculpted scars in the top of the head, the facial hair, the mustache, and I guess you call it a chin goatee. Beautifully done. Everything about it, man. This looks just like him. I'm so excited for this. He's got to come with some accessories. I can't imagine, man. I'm hoping that he has a removable bandana. There's so much. This figure, I'm telling you right now, when this goes up, this is going to be an immediate purchase for me. So curious who you guys think is also going to be in Pinnacle Collection Series 2. Then, Big Rubber Guys. Major announced that for New York Comic Con, there is going to be a limited to 500 Brian Myers, big rubber guy in his system gear. The red and the yellow, which first off, absolutely pops way more than his previous big rubber guys. It's going to have one of my favorite logos in professional wrestling, which is the Myers skull on the one boot and Trust the System on the other. So cool, so unique, and he's got the M emblazoned on the front. This is a repaint of his most recent big rubber guy, but that's okay. That's expected, man. If you had a figure of yourself, you're going to repaint it, right? You're going to try and get the most out of that mold. Here it is in its mocked up fashion. As you can see, it's going to have the major 1 of 500 sticker, which I love they do that, those unique stickers on the actual packaging. And here is the final production piece. So apparently, Brian already has these in his possession. He will be at New York Comic Con, and these are limited to 500 that you can pick up. Usually at the Comic Cons, they're $60. So I'll give you that one. Usually $60 in person, which they are, I think, 65 or 70 online because they're ship them and everything if they make it to online. I have to pick this up. I have to find a way to get this figure. I need it. I need it, man, and I can't wait to unbox it. Also, this was shown that there is going to be a Killer Cross big rubber guy. Check this out, dude. All of his tattoos are there. I'm loving when they get the tattoos right on these big rubber guys. The likeness in the face, he's got those crazy eyes. I'm loving these studded boots. But this also leads us to question, are we going to be getting a Scarlet? I got to imagine that if Killer Cross signed, we're getting a Scarlet as well. And even though I know that Major is staying away from recreating the LJN poses, I would honestly love to see them pay homage to the only woman in the LJN line, Miss Elizabeth, by giving Scarlett her pose, something like that, or at least like a cloth goods skirt, something a little callback to that original LJN line. Now, AEW Unrivaled Series 18 is in stock on ringside. People have already started receiving them. It's got Okada, which we've already seen these on display, right? But it's cool to see them mint on card. It has Jack Perry, which, man, I got to say, that head's a little weird, right? I got to imagine that head was cast in whatever color you would call his hair, like that brownish, and they painted his face on because it is spooky looking to me. But he's got the scapegoat shirt and the armband, which is pretty cool. Here we have Jeff Jarrett, which is pretty much just a repaint and a redesign of the coat as the Ringside Collectibles exclusive. We have Samoa Joe, which is, again, just another repaint, basically, except this time he's got the yellow and black shorts. And then here we have Mark Briscoe with the new head sculpt. He's in those Jamin Pugh tribute shorts that are piped in the snake skin. Pretty cool. Interchangeable hands. He's got a cloth goods shirt. And then what I think is going to be the hot commodity of this series is Mariah May, Blake Monroe from WWE. She comes with the championship. Also has some pretty unique detailed gear that is, all original sculpting. The head's decent. I don't think it captures her. I don't know the word. I guess beauty as well as it should. Plus, I think that the legs that what's supposed to be mesh kind of at the upper thigh is a little bit too dark. It comes off looking like a hot dog, and I think it should be just like maybe a shade or two down. But either way, her first figure, pretty cool. I get everybody's first figure, so I will be picking this up. This one is probably the one that I want the most, and that is Mark Briscoe's 1 of 3,000 Rare Edition in the camo referee tee. And he's got the face, the O face, and I love the fact that he comes with referee hands. So he comes with 2 C grips, the 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger. Awesome. This is a must get for me. Love the Briscoes. I will get every Mark Briscoe, every Jay Briscoe that ever comes out. And then last but not least, the 1 of 5,000 Mariah May. Again, something with those the tops of her legs. I really don't like it. I think they're way too dark. They should be down like a shade or two, but still cool. She's getting a figure. However, man, come on. What's this face? What is that? It's horrible. Plus, like the lipstick is all over. It's not a good look, man. Not a good look. We got to work on this stuff. But, anyways, next up is WWE, and this thing was pretty interesting. So I don't know exactly what company this is, but it's available on Walmart.com right now. The Superstar Ring. I would have loved this as a kid, man. It is a blow up wrestling ring. So it's a Superstar Ring. It comes with the pump, the air pump, and everything. Comes with a title belt. And I can't tell if the championship is inflatable or not. It kind of looked that way, but the ring has, ropes basically printed on the side, WWE logos, and on the front at the entrance, it has Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Rhea Ripley. I mean, it's a pretty cool item, man. I would never use this now as an adult. I don't have kids, but I got to be honest, when I saw this, I was definitely debating picking one up. I really was. And here is that championship belt. I think this is such a cool thing. If you have a kid and he's going to have like a birthday party, a wrestling themed birthday party, you got to get this, right? I feel like that is the caveat here. So I think it's awesome. Now, Ringside Collectibles got in their Ultimate Edition Series 28. And it is a great series. It's quite possibly the best Ultimate Edition series this year, in my opinion. It's very, very good. First up, we have Tiffany Stratton right here. As you can see, she comes with Tiffy's Money in the Bank purse, as well as interchangeable hands, interchangeable head. That green gear with the purple accenting the gold pops like crazy. I love this one. Here are some in-hand pictures from Action Figure Attack Steve Ozer over at Mattel. And man, I think they just do this figure so much justice and show how much versatility you have with these figures as far as posing and the accessories come with this specific figure. Look at that. Looks just like her. This is Tiffy's best likeness in a figure, in my opinion. Eddie Guerrero, which to me is the number one figure in this set. Gotta get this. It's so good. You got the bull rope. You got the Addicted to the Heat shirt, interchangeable hands that are very specific to his character as far as posing goes, interchangeable heads. And we're going to take a look at some of those pictures that Action Figure Attack posted. Check that out. The Scarface style shirt that I love, the purple tights, but all of these Eddie heads are money. He's got his tattoo. He's posed so well. This was probably my favorite pose that Steve did for it. We all remember him kind of tapping his chest. It's very Eddie Guerrero-esque. Pretty cool. The smile, the yelling head sculpt, the back of the shirt. I mean, this thing is so unique, and there's so much variety to what you can do with it. So I'm definitely going to be picking this one up. And Uncle Howdy. Now, let me get this off my chest really quickly, okay? I love Bray Wyatt. I love the Wyatt family. I love the Wyatt Six, okay? I even really, really like Uncle Howdy. I do. I don't think it's as successful as it could be, but I do like Uncle Howdy. I think this figure is great, right? And nothing against Bo Dallas, nothing against Uncle Howdy, because I'm happy to have this. It's just crazy when you really think about who has gotten Ultimate Edition figures. And there's guys that I truly, and women, that I truly believe deserve Ultimate Edition figures. And Uncle Howdy got one before them. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. It's kind of crazy to me that somebody like The Miz hasn't gotten an Ultimate Edition figure. Now, that is not coming from somebody who is a huge Miz fan, because I'm not. But let's be honest. I mean, he's a very decorated person in our sport. He's very active. He's current. He's also going to be a future Hall of Famer. And it's crazy to me he hasn't gotten an Ultimate Edition figure yet. Now, on to this figure. As I said, beautiful. It is incredible. I love that it comes with the interchangeable hands. The detail is there. It's got the jacket arms and in-ring arms as well as the jacket. 3 different interchangeable heads that appear to be different than his other upcoming figures. Removable hat and the lantern. All of these things are super key, man. And look at it all tied together. It is a work of art. It really is, man. The only issue that I have with this figure is now, since I am going to be getting it, because I first of all, like I said, I love the Wyatt Six. You need the Wyatt Six. And to me, personally, this is just how I collect. I don't really intermingle my elites and ultimates because to me, the ultimates are such a level above the elites that they kind of stand out more. And I feel like it takes away from good elites. I feel like now that we have Uncle Howdy in Ultimate Edition, we need the rest of the Wyatt Six in Ultimate Edition. And I can almost guarantee we're probably not getting them all in Ultimates. So that is the disappointing factor for me. But look how good this looks with the hat. The hat fits perfectly. It's rare that we can say that about a hat that's removable perfectly. There he is. The interchangeable heads just look great. You can see Bo Dallas in the mouth, in the eyes. I mean, they nailed the likeness. And that's hard to do when it comes to sculpting a head that is going to have a mask on it. So shout out to Mattel on this one. It's beautiful. Look at that gauntlet on the gloved hand. I mean, these things have so much detail, fine detail that they went into. I got to give them a pat on the back. So I'm not anti Bo Dallas. I like Bo Dallas. I like Uncle Howdy. I love the Wyatt Six. I'm just saying that it's kind of shocking that there's other people on the roster who haven't gotten this treatment yet. But curious what you guys think of this week's reveals and news. Hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeel. Twitter is at TheFigHeel. Pick up the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, available now on Amazon.com, or simply go to HeelBooks.com and make sure you join Whatnot at WhatHeal.com. You'll get $15 off your first purchase. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining me. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need FigHeel's Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, the modern edition covering all releases from 2010 to present day. Featuring over 7,000 photos of action figures from the hottest brands, including independent toy makers. Keep track of what you have, want, and need, including loose, mock, and overall collection value. With figure photography by Matthew Goldberg, the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia is a must-have for collectors. Full-color paperback and hardcover editions available now at HeelBooks.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at FigHeel. Pick up my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeel. Join my official sponsor, Whatnot, at WhatHeal.com and receive $15 off your first purchase.